Today we're going to be going over Leetcode problem 595, Big Countries. This is actually a SQL problem, so it's testing basic databases knowledge. This kind of problem may be a little less common in a typical data structures and algorithms interview, but it's still a good thing to know in case you ever do run into a database problem. Here we are given a database table called World. World has columns name, continent, area, population, and GDP. What we have to do is write a SQL query to return the big countries name, population, and area. A big country is defined as having an area greater than 3 million or a population greater than 25 million. When writing SQL queries, there are usually three basic sections that make up our query. These are the select, from, and where clauses. Typically, these clauses are written on separate lines to make it more clear to read. When writing SQL queries, I like to start on the from clause because we need to know where the data is coming from before we do anything else. In this problem, there is only one table, world. However, in more complex problems, you may have to join multiple tables together to get the data you need, so it's a good idea to start on the from clause, as it's not uncommon for this to be the most complex part of the query. The next thing I like to do is figure out what our where clause will be. This clause contains the logic for filtering out which rows will be included in the result. In our case, we want to return all rows where area is greater than 3 million or population is greater than 25 million. Finally, we want to populate the select clause. In this clause, we need to choose which columns will be returned. Think of it this way. The select clause chooses what columns will be included in the response, while the where clause chooses what rows, which are also known as tuples, will be included in the response. In our case, we need to return the name, area, and population. We can read this final SQL query as select the name, area, and population columns from the world table where area is greater than 3 million or population is greater than 25 million. We click submit and we see that we spelled population wrong. So we click submit again and we see that our submission was accepted. This was the most basic of database problems, but it is still a good introduction into a topic that may not typically be covered in typical interview prep. And if you all wanted to see me do some tougher SQL problems, be sure to let me know in the comments. And that'll do it for today's video, so please make sure to like and subscribe and let me know if any problem suggestions you may have.